Episode 7 of The Summer I Turned Pretty doesn't just end with a simple cliffhanger, it ends with a storm of emotions. A quiet scene hides a louder truth, and a single choice shifts everything for Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah. The question isn't just what happened at the end, it's what it really means. Before we look at the ending, we need to understand the weight behind it. Episode 7 doesn't exist in isolation, it's built on layers of choices, regrets, and unspoken words from the season so far. Belly is at the center, torn between the two Fisher brothers, but she isn't just choosing between Conrad and Jeremiah. She's choosing the version of herself she wants to grow into. In the earlier parts of the season, Belly struggled with guilt over Susannah's death, guilt over her fights with her mom, and guilt for the pain she caused both brothers. That guilt carried into episode 7, where every interaction between her and Conrad or her and Jeremiah feels loaded. You can sense that Belly doesn't just want romance, she wants peace, and yet she keeps finding herself in the middle of conflict. For Conrad, episode 7 shows a side of him we've seen before but never this clearly. He hides his feelings under silence, but silence doesn't erase emotion. Every glance, every pause, every time he steps back from speaking up, it screams louder than words. Jeremiah, on the other hand, is all about action. He's open, he's loud with his feelings, and he makes sure Belly knows where he stands. The contrast between the brothers isn't just about personality, it's about how they love. Conrad loves by holding back, by protecting even if it hurts him. Jeremiah loves by stepping forward, by claiming what he wants even if it risks rejection. This dynamic comes to a head in episode 7. The beach house, which has always been a symbol of summer joy, now feels like a stage for heartbreak. Every conversation carries the shadow of Susannah, who isn't there but whose presence is everywhere. The way the camera lingers on family photographs, the way characters fall silent at certain memories, it reminds us that they're not just fighting for love. They're fighting to keep Susannah's spirit alive, to keep the meaning of summer intact. And then there's Belly herself. By episode 7, it's clear she has grown since season 1. She isn't just the younger girl caught between brothers. She's becoming someone who understands the weight of choices. But growth doesn't mean clarity, and the ending proves that. What looks like a romantic decision is also a moment of self-reflection. When Belly makes eye contact, when she hesitates before speaking, when she walks away instead of answering right away, these are moments that tell us more than words could. So, as we step into the ending, remember this, the final scene isn't just about who will she choose? It's about why that choice matters. It's about how grief, love, and memory are tied. The ending of episode 7 is where everything slows down, yet the weight of every moment hits harder than ever. It's not filled with loud arguments or dramatic confessions, it's about the quiet choices, the ones that change everything without a single word spoken. The final scenes unfold at the beach house, and the atmosphere is heavy. Even the silence feels charged. Belly finds herself pulled into a moment where both Conrad and Jeremiah are right there, each of them standing not just as love interests but as symbols of the life she could have. Conrad, as always, keeps his distance. His eyes follow her, but he doesn't push forward. He lets her breathe, even if it breaks him inside. Jeremiah, on the other hand, doesn't hesitate. He reaches out, speaks with confidence, and makes sure Belly knows he's ready to be the one who stays. What makes this ending so powerful is not the words exchanged, but the spaces between them. When Conrad lingers in the background, you can almost feel his struggle. He wants to speak, he wants to fight for her, but he believes that stepping back is the only way to protect her happiness. It's heartbreaking because it isn't indifference, it's love wrapped in silence. The camera lingers on his face just long enough for us to see what he doesn't say out loud. Meanwhile, Belly's eyes betray her confusion. She listens to Jeremiah, and for a moment, it feels like his energy is what she needs, someone steady, someone who won't leave her guessing. But even as she leans toward Jeremiah's warmth, you can see her thoughts drifting back to Conrad. That tiny hesitation, the pause before her smile, the way she lowers her gaze, these are details that tell us her heart isn't settled. The brilliance of this ending is in its subtlety. The show doesn't give us a clear answer, because Belly doesn't have one yet. Instead, it forces us into her shoes. Do you choose the boy who wears his heart on his sleeve, who promises you the world right now? Or do you choose the boy who breaks your heart with silence but holds a deeper, quieter love that never fades? It's the classic push and pull, but episode 7 turns it into something heavier because of everything they've already lost. The beach house itself becomes a character in this scene. Its walls have heard every fight, every laugh, every secret. Now, as the summer draws to a close, it watches the next chapter unfold. When Belly walks through those doors at the end, she isn't just choosing between two boys. She's walking toward the version of herself she's ready, or not ready, to become. The last shot lingers, almost daring us to pick sides. But the truth is, episode 7's ending isn't about sides. It's about tension left unresolved, about love that refuses to fit into neat answers. And it's that very uncertainty that makes the ending so unforgettable. The ending of episode 7 doesn't just leave us with questions about the love triangle, it reshapes the way we see each character. Each of them walks away from that moment carrying something new, and it sets the stage for what comes next. For Belly, the ending is less about choosing a boy and more about choosing herself. All season, she's been caught in the middle, constantly pulled in two directions. In this final scene, you can see how heavy that burden has become. Her hesitation is proof that she's still searching, not only for love but also for clarity about who she is. Belly's growth since the first season is undeniable. She's not the same girl who dreamed only of fairy tale romance. Now she understands that real love comes with sacrifice, with flaws, and with heartbreak. But she also realizes that no matter which brother she leans toward, someone will be hurt. That awareness weighs on her, and the ending captures that inner conflict with every glance and pause. For Conrad, this moment is devastating. He doesn't lose because he doesn't care, he loses because he cares too much in the wrong way. Conrad has always loved through distance, by pulling back, by hiding behind silence. To him, protecting Belly means not dragging her into his own storms. But episode 7 shows us that this very silence is what keeps pushing her away. When he stands there, watching Jeremiah step forward, we can feel Conrad's heartbreak. It's not the heartbreak of a boy who's been rejected, it's the heartbreak of someone who knows he could fight for her but chooses not to, because he thinks she deserves better. That quiet sacrifice, however noble, risks becoming the reason he loses her forever. For Jeremiah, this is his moment to shine. He doesn't wait, he doesn't hesitate, he takes his chance. Jeremiah has always been the open book, the one who wears his emotions proudly. In the ending, he finally steps into the role of the brother who isn't afraid to show up and fight for Belly's heart. And while some viewers see this as bold and romantic, it also reveals Jeremiah's biggest fear, that if he doesn't act, he'll always be the second choice. His confidence is real, but underneath it, there's desperation. He's tired of living in Conrad's shadow, and this ending proves he's willing to do whatever it takes to stand on his own. Together, the three of them paint a picture of love that isn't simple. Belly's uncertainty, Conrad's silence, Jeremiah's boldness, it's not about right or wrong. It's about timing, about the way people love differently, and about how grief changes the way you see relationships. The ending reminds us that love is never one-dimensional. It's messy, it's complicated, and sometimes, it's unfair. And that's why this scene matters. It doesn't just move the plot forward, it forces every character to confront the truth. Belly must face her indecision, Conrad must face the cost of his silence, and Jeremiah must face whether his boldness comes from love or from fear. The ending of episode 7 works because it isn't just about a love triangle, it's about the deeper themes that have defined the show from the very beginning. At its core, The Summer I Turned Pretty has always been about growing up, about the bittersweet line between childhood summers and adult choices. Episode 7 captures that perfectly, and its final moments are layered with symbolism. The beach house is one of the strongest symbols in this episode. It represents not just memories of joy, but also the weight of loss. Every corner of the house holds a piece of Susannah, whose absence is still the quiet heartbeat of the story. The tension between the brothers and Belly's hesitation all unfold inside the space, reminding us that no matter what choices they make, they are still living in Susannah's shadow. The house becomes a mirror. Just as it's at risk of being lost, so too are the relationships inside it. The ending asks us, can love survive when the foundation it stands on feels so fragile? Another key theme is the way love expresses itself differently. Conrad's silence, Jeremiah's openness, Belly's indecision, these aren't just romantic quirks. They symbolize different ways of coping with grief and growing up. Conrad's quiet love mirrors his grief, he holds it in, tries to protect others by carrying it alone. Jeremiah's bold declarations are his way of fighting back against the emptiness left behind. If he keeps moving forward, maybe he won't get stuck in the past. Belly, caught between the two, represents the uncertainty of someone learning that love isn't simple or clean. It's messy, and sometimes there is no perfect choice. And then there's the symbolism of summer itself. Summer has always been painted as a season of magic, light, and first loves. But here, summer is fading. Episode 7 ends with that sense of something slipping away, like the last sunset before the season ends. It's not just about Belly choosing a boy, it's about her holding on to the last threads of innocence before stepping into something more complicated, more adult. This ending also sets the stage for episode 8. By refusing to give us closure, the writers make sure we're left hanging, desperate for what comes next. Will Belly finally make a decision, or will her hesitation cause even more heartbreak? Will Conrad stay silent, or will he finally break his pattern and speak his truth? And if Jeremiah has won this round, can that victory last when his greatest fear is being second best? These are the questions episode 8 must answer. The beauty of episode 7's ending is that it doesn't tie everything neatly. It makes us feel the weight of the characters' choices while reminding us that real love stories aren't simple. They're filled with timing, hesitation, sacrifice, and hope. And as the summer begins to close, so does this chapter in their lives. The only question left is, whose heart will survive the ending of this summer, and whose heart will break? Episode 7 doesn't give us answers, it gives us questions. It leaves us holding our breath, waiting for the moment when Belly must finally decide. But maybe that's the point. Maybe the beauty of this story is that love isn't something you figure out in one moment. It takes time, mistakes, and sometimes, heartbreak. What we do know is that the summer is running out, and so are the chances for Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah to get it right. The ending shows us that even when love is painful, it's also the thing that keeps them going. And as viewers, we're left to wonder, is it better to love loudly like Jeremiah, or to love quietly like Conrad? Or is Belly's real journey about learning to love herself first? So now, I want to hear from you. Whose side are you on, Team Conrad or Team Jeremiah? Do you think Belly's hesitation means she's already made her choice